Previously on Unscripted.
Can we talk about David Sampson?
You're asking if we can talk about him? I mean, he was on our biggest scumbags list. I think he was number one.
He does not realize how big of a jerk he is.
Actually, I think he does realize it and he doesn't care.
You're listening to Unscripted with Skip Sherman and Josh Obadia.
Okay, Skip, so today we're going to talk about the Netflix series Nobody Wants This, Season 2. We already did Season 1 a while ago. But before we get to that, you probably know that I went to a concert recently. I know that you went to the Lafe concert. Is that how you pronounce it?
Nice try. Leve, yes.
Sorry.
I still say Lafe because that's how it's spelled.
Okay. Yeah. And also you had a busy week because it was your wife's birthday and the Bruce Springsteen movie came out that week and the Expos documentary came out that week. So the week after that, I had a busy week because I went to the Beaches concert.
I know. You sent me a picture. It looked great.
It did look great and it was great. So I've seen the Beaches 3 times now. And each time the venue gets bigger and bigger, of course, because they become more and more popular. So this was their first time playing at Scotiabank Arena, which was a huge deal for them because they're from Toronto. And, you know, they've grown up going to concerts at different concert venues in Toronto. And they've been to concerts at Scotiabank Arena when it was called something else. So they talked about that during the concert on stage, how they almost couldn't believe that they were on stage performing at Scotiabank Arena. So it was a huge deal for them. And the place was packed and it was a fun concert. Now, there's a rule in Toronto and maybe all of Ontario, and I don't know if the same thing is in Montreal or Quebec, but concerts have to end at 11 p.m. I don't know why.
Oh, that's definitely a Toronto thing.
So it's like every concert I've ever been to at any venue in Toronto, it always ends at 11 or earlier.
Wow.
So that was a little, but I knew this going in. And actually you know how you can find out on Setlist FM what songs they're going to sing and what time the show starts and all that stuff. So I did go to that website, not to find out the set list, but to find out what time they're going on stage.
Right.
And so they were supposed to go on stage at, I think it's 9:10. 10 minutes after 9. Anyway.
Okay, so a 2-hour show, yeah.
They were late, though. They didn't go on till like 9:18.
Well.
And they did a lot of talking in between songs. And so the show actually did end a few minutes after 11. So I didn't know if like the cops were going to come and shut it down or what was going to happen. But it was a great show. I didn't buy tickets till like a month before the concert, even though tickets went on sale a long time ago. And what happened was I kept checking, regularly how many tickets are left and where are they and whatever. And I didn't want to sit on the floor because unless you're on the front row on the floor, you can't really see anything because there's people in front of you. And, it's not like elevated or whatever you call it, where there's an incline, right? Or a decline or whatever you call it. So I didn't want to sit on the floor. Anyway, one day I log on and I see that in the front row, not on the floor, the front row of the regular seats, there's like 20 seats available. So they must have just opened them up that day.
Sometimes there's tickets that they hold back for corporations, advertisers, friends, whatever, and then no one takes them, so they put them back in circulation.
Right. So I bought 2 of those.
Good.
And then it turns out we get there and we're actually in the player bench.
Oh,
now they removed the benches and they put actual seats there.
Yeah.
But we were in the player bench because we saw the door, the door to go onto the ice. We were right next to that door.
That's so funny.
And it was great because no one's in front of us, right? So that means if we want to stand, we can stand. But if we don't, we can still see because no one's standing in front of us. It was great.
Yeah. That's so good.
So I really like those
It looks like a great
seats.
concert. What? I mean, I've seen a lot of their videos. They pop up on my Instagram and TikToks, and they really look great. The Beaches, honestly, like it looks like a great show.
They're so fun and they're so engaging with the audience. The lead singer went out into the crowd at one point during one of the songs, and sort of high-fived everybody. So that was cool. They gave out these wristbands as you were coming into the venue, and these wristbands, like it looks like a watch, but you can't do
Yeah.
anything with it. You just
This
put
is
it.
the first time you've ever experienced this?
Yeah. And so they obviously during the show, they start lighting up the wristbands and they change
Yeah.
color. And
Yeah.
I mean, at any concert I've been to, I've never seen that or experienced that. So that was pretty cool.
I mean, the artists that you go to, that's more for like the pop stars, I think, that do that, but yeah, that's cool. Really cool.
Yeah, they played all the songs that I wanted to hear. If I'm being nitpicky, at one point they did this medley of like 5 different songs where they only played like a minute of each one.
I don't like that.
I don't like that because I wanted to hear all of those songs in their entirety.
Yeah, that's
And of course, those were the older songs. And when it came to the new songs, of course, they played the full new songs. They had a video screen up. Of course, every concert has a video screen. And on the video screen, sometimes between songs, you would see like text messages. And I
Yeah.
guess these might have been actual text messages that were sent between some of the band members and ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends or whatever.
Right.
So that was fun. And also you could hear they played audio of voicemails that they had received
That's
over
fun.
the years. So a really fun concert. And then nothing to do with the concert, but as we're leaving, I'm sure you've experienced this, where sometimes when you leave a venue after a sporting event or a concert, they're giving out free stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
They gave out free iced tea.
Oh, that's your favorite. Was it Fuse or is Nestle?
It was Fuse.
Yeah, well, Fuse is actually better now, so that's the right choice.
So anyway, a really good concert, and I'll see them next time they come back to town. They're still on tour, so check your listings in your city. If you haven't seen them, you should. I don't know if you know, they've been on Jimmy Kimmel Live twice.
I know they're getting like fairly popular to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. They're getting more well known. I guess you didn't see the Bruce Springsteen movie.
I haven't seen it yet. It's at the theater. I haven't been to a theater since I think the last time was with you a year ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, I highly recommend that movie. I think it's polarizing because maybe we'll do an episode on the movie when you see it. But I was a guest. I don't know if you know. I was a guest on Jesse's podcast on Set Listing Bruce.
You've been a guest several times.
Yeah, but he had like a panel discussion with like 5 or 6 or 8 even people all talking about the movie, and I was part of that. It's I love the movie. I love the movie. But a lot of people don't. So it's.
Well, did you hear
Yeah.
Chris Mad Dog Russo's review?
I mean, he didn't like it because he thought it was boring. Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have any listener mail?
Mailbag.
Yes, we do have quite a bit of listener mail because we didn't do any last time. So we have a backlog, especially on a really popular topic, which was the athlete nicknames.
Okay.
We never, right? So Matthew from Montreal, my son, giving some nicknames that he thought were his favorites. Kevin, he said the NBA has the best ones. Kevin Garnett, the big ticket. Allen Iverson, the answer. And Paul Pierce, the truth. He goes, those are all like very high level nicknames. Derek, here from Montreal, gave some nicknames. Rocket Richard, Pocket Rocket, Fred McGriff, the crime dog. Allen Iverson, the answer. O.J. Simpson, the juice. Willie Mays, the say hey kid. And Andres Galarraga, the big cat. And then he said there's 2 quirky ones that he has, which is Grigor Dimitrov. Do you know this guy? He's a tennis player.
I've heard the name. I don't know his nickname.
His nickname was Baby Fed because they thought he was going to be the next Federer, but obviously that didn't happen. And then the other one is Zane Smith, which I think he or his brother named him, was what they called him, which is my other brother Daryl, because he looked like some hick from, the farm somewhere.
Zane Smith, former Expo.
Exactly. Jesse, I mentioned him from Texas, a good friend of our podcast, wrote in saying, great episode with sports nicknames. He suggested Roger Staubach had some great ones, Roger the Dodger and Captain America, Daryl Moose Johnson. And he agreed with me he said, I agree that Magic is one of the best nicknames because, like I said, it's his actual name at this point. And going old school, Babe Ruth, Hammer and Hank, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Sugar Ray Robinson. So that's an interesting one because there's 2 boxers that both had the nickname Sugar Ray. Fareed, here from Montreal, asked me a question, Josh. how come there were no women in our list for the nicknames? And I said, because the women's nicknames are all bad. I looked up the list of women's nicknames, and the best one is Alex Morgan. They call her Baby Horse, which is absolutely stupid. Angel Reese, Chi-Town Barbie, and Florence Griffith Joyner, Flojo. That's like the best we've got, right? So I think the female athletes have a long way to come to, like, they need to work on their nickname game at this point, so that's where we're going with that.
Agreed, because I didn't know any of those nicknames. Maybe Flojo, that's the only one I heard of before.
Yeah. Jeff from California, actually, he texted you, I think. He said, hey, the show's great. I still listen every week. You got me watching this Expos Netflix documentary, and I'm loving it. And actually what happened is he texted you before we recorded our Expos documentary episode and said, I'm sure you'll be talking about it on an upcoming episode. I'm hoping you break this down in a full episode. I'm curious what your takes are on. So obviously we fulfilled his request because that's what we did last time.
He texted me again. I forgot to share it with you after he listened to our episode. He loved the episode. And he also liked our recap of the baseball playoffs.
Beautiful. Jesse, our friend of ours here in Montreal, suggested that we do a whole episode on the gambling stuff going on in MLB and the NBA. And we've mulled this over. We're not sure what we're going to do with that, but it'll either be in a shorter segment or I don't know about a full episode, but we will talk about it at one point.
We'd need to get some guests like Jeff Ma or Rufus Peabody.
Jeff Ma, that would be a big get, yeah. Mark from Philadelphia, he said, we raved about Mookie Betts and how great of a shortstop he is, but we didn't include Mookie in our list of nicknames. And there's two Mookies. There's Mookie Wilson and Mookie Betts. So
and there's Mookie Blaylock, too.
That's right. And he said about the Expos and Jays, he said, one of our best episode. Love listening to you guys talk baseball. He said he had many of the same observations as us. It was a true classic series with tons of strange events. Like, think about all the strange events that happened in the same World Series. An MVP that goes 3-0, right? Like a pitcher who goes 3-0. Game-ending double plays, a brawl, a stuck ball, an 18-inning game, right? Like, and he sent me a replay of the Isaiah Kiner Falefa play at home, and he said he watched it over and over and over, and you really cannot tell. Like, safe and out is not clear in any replay. And he said he did finally see one where someone colored home plate in fluorescent yellow like a highlighter. And with that, it's a little more clear that he was out by like literally like a millisecond.
By the way, Mookie Betts and Mookie Wilson and Mookie Blaylock, I don't know their real names.
I looked it up. They all have different names. Yeah.
I don't even know what they are.
A really interesting note that was sent by Mark was this was the first ever Major League Baseball season in history, and that's hundreds of years, where the season started and ended outside the United States.
Oh.
Because they started this season in Japan, and then it ended in Toronto. So It's really that's an interesting fact, right?
Interesting, yes.
As for the question, what would the Expos look like today, which is what you asked, and said you'd be frustrated because I said they'd be like the Marlins or the Pirates, like one of these teams, and he said the true solution is that Montreal should get a AAA team. I'm like, I don't know.
You know, Montreal had a minor league team before they had a major league team.
I know, but that's what we're talking about in the 50s, right?
Yeah, well, what's it? Jackie Robinson played.
Right, exactly. And then finally, Ron from Toronto, X of Montreal. I came across your podcast recently. Nice job. Hope you guys are both doing well. P.S. You should do a show on the Maple Leafs and how they will never win the Stanley Cup again. Go Habs, go.
Okay.
And that is the listener mail, a big extended edition.
Love it. Love it. Okay, we'll be right back after this to talk about season 2 of Nobody Wants This.
You're listening to Unscripted.
Are you taking a month-long vacation in the stratosphere and you know how hard it is to hold your breath? Are you the cosmic kid in full costume dress? You've got a nice little place in the podcast universe with Set Listing Bruce. Set Listing Bruce is your podcast for all things Bruce Springsteen fandom. We discuss his music, we talk about his tour, and we also talk to fans of other musicians and share their story of their passion, their fandom, and the way that their favorite artist music makes them feel. Set Lusting Bruce, a Bruce Springsteen fan podcast, is available wherever you find podcasts. Remember, there is magic in the night.
And now, back to Unscripted.
Okay, Skip, we're back.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Netflix show Nobody Wants This, starring Kristen Bell and what is the actor who plays Noah?
Adam Brody.
Adam Brody, exactly. You read my mind. I really loved season 1. I thought it was charming and funny. It was different. It was original. And I went into season 2 with a lot of high hopes, and I was really disappointed. I really, honestly just did not enjoy season 2 of this show. And it's weird because when we do an episode like this on a show, we mostly like the shows, right? Because we're watching them because we're going to probably like them. And I couldn't wait for it to end. Honestly, I just couldn't wait for it to end. And now they're doing season 3. I can't, what are they going to do in season 3? It's just going to be worse.
So it's interesting because recently I finished watching 3 different shows and I told you about them. And then you picked, of the 3, you picked this one to do a podcast about. And so I was surprised because normally you wouldn't have picked a show that you didn't like to talk about on our podcast. So I'm surprised that you wanted to talk about this.
Well, the thing is, one of the other shows that you chose, which was Only Murders, season 5, I didn't really like it either.
Okay. And what about the third one?
The Diplomat. I feel like The Diplomat. Did we ever do The Diplomat?
No, we didn't. So we could have done 3 seasons of The Diplomat.
Yeah. It's a complicated show. It's actually very complicated in terms of the plot. It's not an easy show. The Diplomat is not a show you can watch and browse your phone at the same time, But you have to pay attention, right? And I didn't feel like I had the brain power to start breaking down The Diplomat. So this is easier just to complain about how bad the season was.
Sure. Anyway, I do agree with you. I liked season 1. I didn't like season 2 very much. I found that season 2, other than the last episode, I thought that every episode was pretty much just a repeat of the previous episode. It was very repetitive. They always end up Adam Brody and Kristen Bell. In every episode, they seem to have a disagreement or an argument or a conflict.
Yeah.
Are you going to convert? Are you not going to convert? I mean, I thought about it, and I tried to, in my head, picture this in real life happening, not in a TV show.
No,
and the bottom line is, if you're a Jewish person who's not a rabbi and a non-Jewish person, and you want to get together, you want to be a couple, that's doable. That's happened many times. But if you're a rabbi and you have all these rules that you have to follow as a rabbi, there's no way you can be with someone who's not Jewish. So either she has to convert or you break up. I mean, those are really the only 2 options. There's no gray area.
Well, I mean, it speaks to the reason why he didn't want to move in with her and why he's doing it slowly, because he kind of needs an answer to this question. That's the only plausible thing in this show. Like you said, if you're a rabbi, you just said it. If you're a rabbi, you have rules. But does he?
I don't know what the rules are because I've never studied to be a rabbi. I mean, the other option is she doesn't convert and he quits his job as a rabbi. That's the other option.
No, of course. But what I'm saying about the rules is have you ever met a rabbi that just doesn't wear a kippah all the time?
No, I don't think I have.
Have you ever, it seems like food being kosher or not kosher is not even a question for him. He just eats at restaurants and they order in and it doesn't seem to be a thing, there's just, to me, I don't know. And then actually one of the funnier parts of the season was when he goes to the other synagogue where Seth Rogen is.
Right. And
that's even, I mean, if he's a Reform rabbi, this is barely a synagogue, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way Seth Rogen was talking about what they do at that synagogue is is it even a synagogue?
Well, they asked them a question what would you do if there was a movie premiere at the same time as Shabbat or whatever? And then, of course, Noah Adam Brody's like, well, we have to observe Shabbat. And then Seth Rogen's like, well, we have a lot of members who are in the entertainment industry, and Steven Spielberg built The Wing here. And like, I thought that was okay. Like that was good.
And those scenes were funny, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean,
Seth Rogen, by the way, is in everything these days. It seems like every show I watch, he's in. He's in every commercial that comes up on my television. You can't get away from Seth Rogen.
So, like, my takeaway of this season is that, like, Joanne and Noah, who obviously were the big stars and the central point of season 1 and should be the central point of season 2, were boring. And Sasha, the brother, and Morgan, her sister, and to a certain extent Esther, the sister-in-law, were actually the stars of this season and much, much more interesting to watch. Like Joanne and Noah, like I was like halfway through the season, I'm like, I think they're a bad couple. Like in the real world, they would and should break up. Like they are not good for each other. Like they're not a match. Like they don't go. Like I really think that, like, they're just like a bad couple, and they're both like pretty unlikable in their way. Like she's the worst actually. Like anything he says or does, she fixates on it and turns it into a mega huge crisis all in her own mind, and then it turns into that becomes the episode. And he's equally bad. Like, honestly, the thing with like that he bought the same Valentine's Day gift for like the different girlfriends. I mean, that like, what is that? Like, who does that?
Although in his defense, she shouldn't be able to find out. Like, normally, your new girlfriend would not find out that you bought the same thing for your previous girlfriend.
You're right. She shouldn't be able to find out, but I don't think that's the point, though, right?
No, I agree with you.
It's like the height of laziness. He's like, well, it's Valentine's Day, so I'll just go in my, I'll just get the standard. Like, what's the standard gift? Like, what is my standard? Oh, yeah, Valentine's Day. I get the little necklace with the gold. I get her name on it. Check. Take that off the list.
By the way, when he said, okay, fine, give it back to me, she's like, no, I'm keeping it.
Of course she liked it. Like, of course, it's nice, but that's not the point.
I know. Yeah, you mentioned Sasha and Morgan. So I was going to say the same exact thing. I was always looking forward to the scenes with Sasha and or Morgan. I found that those were much more interesting parts of the show. And actually, I think I even said this for season 1 as well.
Yeah. Well, season 1, the some of the most interesting parts was the interesting relationship, friendship, whatever you want to call it, between Sasha and Morgan. Like that was like one of the more interesting parts of season 1. Yeah.
And I did like Esther more in season 2. Like, in season 1, she was very rough and aggressive and abrasive, and she wasn't as much like that in season 2. Now, I discovered doing some research that they had new showrunners this season, and that probably has something to do with why the characters and the storylines were a little bit different than they were in season 1.
It didn't continue because season 1 left off with, there was at the bat mitzvah, right? That was the end?
Yeah.
And it basically, I mean, obviously left off with them kissing and saying, okay, they're going to try to be together. Fine. But like it left off with basically his mother, basically saying like, there's no way you're going to be with my son. Like so they lead you into season 2 thinking it's going to be this war between Joanne and the mom and to a certain extent Esther, and like they're going to try to not let them be together. And that's not what it was at all. The mother was barely in the show.
Right.
The father
and Esther became like nice.
And Esther became her friend.
Yeah.
I know. And actually we saw more of Joanne's parents, which was interesting because I actually think the actress that played Joanne's mom was actually really funny and she was really good, especially the parts where she decides she wants to convert.
Yes, that was unexpected for me.
So that was like kind of funny, but her dad was just annoying. Like I couldn't deal. Anytime her dad was on screen, I'm like, get this guy off. Like I can't anymore with him. Yeah, it wasn't good. It was all out of whack. The whole thing was disjointed. So instead of like trying to like, where they teased us that it was going to be like the Joanne, it was going to be like her Noah's mom versus Joanne, which is like a tried and true story, like you're not good enough for my son type of thing. And it just became, is she going to convert? And like that's not interesting.
So the story with Morgan and Dr. Andy, I actually found that a little bit interesting. It was certainly more interesting than what was going on with with Joanne and Noah.
Well, I think Justine Lupe is a great actress.
I agree. Like, I've seen her in other stuff, and I like
Yeah.
her in every show that she's been in that I've seen.
Me too. So she plays her part here as Morgan perfectly, and Dr. Andy is actually pretty funny, but so unethical. I mean, like, honestly, like, it's right in front of her face, like, how this is so inappropriate, and she just refuses to see it until the very end.
Especially when they bump into one of his ex-girlfriends who was also an ex-patient of his.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And then they go to the therapist, like his own therapist, like they do couples therapy with another therapist who clearly knows him intimately, and like it's so wrong. But I guess maybe that's a commentary on, like, I think a lot of the stuff that happens here is like Los Angeles stuff, like they're, you know what I mean? Like this is like how people are in LA. I don't know.
I think my favorite episode was Abby Loves Smoothies. And
That was actually okay, yeah.
the reason I like that one is because Morgan ends up going to the bris.
Yeah.
And Morgan is so rude to Abby.
But it's not a bris. Is it a bris or is it a
Sorry, baby naming.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Same thing.
And said Morgan is so rude to Abby
Oh.
in that episode.
It's crazy. Like that episode was okay. Like everything's fine. Like you're hearing us talk about the show and we're saying like this was okay and this was good and this was funny, whatever. I mean, yeah, there's funny moments, but just like overall, it was just so blah. Like, and honestly, that Valentine's Day episode, okay, I watched the first 3. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it has potential. It could be good. The show might be okay, whatever. Then they get to the Valentine's Day episode. I'm like, this was one of the worst episodes of television I ever saw. It was absolutely awful. It was terrible. And actually, the funniest moment of the whole season is actually in that horrible episode, which is Sasha's dance.
Yeah, that was funny. That reminded me a little bit of like Elaine's dance.
Yeah, no, but he learned to dance to show it to his wife, like the whole choreographed thing. And like, it was really funny, you know, like it was really good. But like, that was it. You know,
I feel bad for him because he's trying to keep his relationship afloat. And it seems like Esther is just not interested at all. He's such a good husband. He's such a good dad. He wants to have another kid, and Esther wants none of that.
I agree. I mean, I guess there's going to be season 3, and I mean, seems like the story is going to be like, are Sasha and Morgan maybe going to be together? You know, is that going to be the love triangle? But like, he already basically said like, I could only ever be with Esther.
He's in love with her, and he'll do anything for her. He even said it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I didn't like the season. Will I watch season 3? This season was so bad that I actually might not watch season 3. That might be it for me.
I'm debating it myself. By the way, going back to Abby Loves Smoothies.
Yeah.
I didn't know this either, but Abby is Adam Brody's real life wife.
Oh, there's all kinds of connections between the cast. Like different people dating different people and husbands and whatever. Like they're all interconnected. All those characters.
It doesn't surprise me.
That is. You never watched Gossip Girl?
No, I didn't.
She's from Gossip Girl.
Yes, I found that out.
I you know, it was pretty funny actually. They when they're at the house of the baby naming, and then Abby Loves Smoothies, and then Morgan just goes into the baby's room with the crib, puts her feet up. I'm like, what the hell is this?
She doesn't take off her shoes when she comes into the house.
So bad. It's so bad, so bad. Oh, Morgan doesn't give a crap about anything. She'll do whatever she wants.
I like her attitude.
So I think the tagline, I mentioned this to you before we started, but the tagline for season 3 should be really like, nobody wants this. Like, I don't think anybody wants to watch season 3. Like, that's like a truer tagline has never been written. You know?
I read that in one of the reviews that I read of the show, actually.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I read a review of the show yesterday because I was trying to remember some of like the funnier moments, whatever. And like the reviewer actually gave it like a really positive review. And I'm like, I don't know what you're watching, but like it just didn't do it for me. You know, it didn't do it for me. There's funny moments. There's a lot of good comedy, but at the heart of it, the relationship between Joanne and Noah, which is supposed to be what you're supposed to care about, I didn't care about it at all. Like I actually think they're both no good. Like they're just not good for each other.
Like I said, other than the last episode, I just felt that they were kind of repetitive.
And even the way the last episode unfolded, the second to last episode sort of ends with them in like a big fight, and maybe they've broken up, maybe they haven't. And the first thing you see in the last episode is like they're on the elevator together, and there's no context of where they're going or what they're doing. Like, I was a bit confused. I'm like, well, where are they? Like, are they together? Are they not? How come they're in the elevator together? Like, well, what's happening here? It was bizarre.
Right. And then you find out that they accidentally arrived at the same time.
Yeah.
To their, was it an engagement party?
Yeah. At Dr. Andy and Morgan.
Yeah.
That looked like a good party.
It did. That was, for an engagement party, that's bigger than some weddings I've been to.
Exactly. So, I mean, overall, do you have other notes? I've gone through my notes.
I mean, the only other note I have is nothing to do with the show, but Sasha, have you seen him in the Volkswagen commercial?
Really funny.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the commercial, I'm like, hey, it's Sasha.
Yeah.
Because did you know him from anything before this show?
No, did you?
No.
What else has he been in? I don't even know.
Yeah, like Adam Brody, obviously, like you didn't watch the OC, but I know him from the OC, and obviously Kristen Bell's been in a million things, very recognizable. And Justine Lupe, I know her from a few things as well. Like, she was in Succession even, which is pretty amazing because it's a completely different character.
She was in Home Economics, and she was also in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Who was she in Maisel?
The sister-in-law of...
Oh my God! Yes! Exactly.
She looks so different, though, in Maisel.
I mean, that's a long time ago. That's 10 years ago.
Is it that long?
Well, ish. Like, sort of, So, yeah, I mean, but Sasha...
It's funny, actually, because in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, she converts to be Jewish.
That's right.
Funny enough.
That's right. All right, well, I mean, if we get to season 3 in another year from now, that's like my new pet peeve of television, is like how long it takes to do seasons.
By the way, did you ever watch the show Handmaid's Tale? Because I think you told me.
Of course. Yeah.
So I think Sasha's in that. He's in 5 episodes of that. I didn't watch the show, but IMDb is telling me that he's in 5 episodes of The Handmaid's Tale.
I'm gonna have to look up who. I think I know who he is. I think he was in the last season. I think he's one of the
Commander
commanders.
Bell.
Yeah. No, I know who he is. Exactly. I know who he is. Yeah. I wouldn't have recognized. I wouldn't have thought of him. Maybe. All right. That's it for Nobody Wants This season 2.
Okay. We'll be right back after this with some final thoughts.
You're listening to Unscripted.
Hey everyone, Skip here. I'm really excited to invite all of you to follow my new account at Skip Cooks on Instagram and TikTok. I'll be sharing my love of cooking with recipes in the form of 1-minute music videos, all set to some of my favorite songs. Don't miss out, follow me, and let's have some fun in the kitchen.
Unscripted with Skip and Josh is available wherever you listen to podcasts. If you listen to the show through Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. To interact with the show, send an email to skipandjoshshow@gmail.com. Follow the show on Twitter and go to Facebook to like the show page. And now, some final thoughts from the guys.
I came across an article, Josh. I think you'll like this.
Let's hear it.
It's that California is trying to propose a law that will put a stop to commercials being too loud.
Well, commercials are louder than whatever show you're watching. That's a known fact.
But they're not supposed to be. They just let them get away with it.
But like
the whole thing is the volume is supposed to be within a certain level. And if you ask all the networks and people in the industry, they're like, oh no, commercials are not louder. It's within the allowed volume. But we all know with our own ears that the commercials are much louder than TV. Like, we know this.
But you're
like,
you're saying only the state of California is going to do this?
The state of California is trying to, the state of California is trying to like force it. But I mean, it could have repercussions everywhere, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I rarely watch commercials. The only time I actually watch a commercial is if I'm watching a live sporting event and I don't have a choice.
Right. Because there's differences between streaming and broadcast TV and the laws. Like, the streamers say that the law that was enacted in 2010 doesn't apply to them. So like they're trying to force the streamers to get on board now with with the laws, but like honestly, it is the most annoying thing in the world. I can't stand when I'm like the TV when a commercial comes on and all of a sudden it's so much louder. It's jarring. Like it's awful. It's really bad.
Jarring is the best word to describe the reaction. That's absolutely
Anyways, so I got an article about that. I'll forward it to you, but I thought that was interesting.
So I started, we talked about some of the shows that I finished watching.
Yeah.
And because there's no baseball playoffs right now, and I don't really care about the NFL until the playoffs start for that, I've been binge watching some shows.
Let's hear it.
So I started a new show. I'm only 3 episodes in. If you've watched it, don't spoil it. It's called The Beast in Me. It's with Claire Danes and Matthew Rhys.
Oh, okay. It was literally just released like yesterday.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Or this week. It's like it's brand new.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first 3 episodes are very good. And I can't wait to see the next episode.
I watched like the trailer. Well, in Netflix, it means you just hover over the title and it plays you the trailer.
Right.
It looked okay. I like both of those actors, so that's good.
And the other thing I like about the show, it says it's a limited series, meaning that I think there's only going to be 1 season, which I like that.
Yeah.
Because
Me
too
too.
often a show will create a 2nd season or a 3rd season or whatever, and the subsequent seasons are never as good as the first one.
Well, it's always like that because the writers have one great idea. We have one great idea. Let's write a show. And then it's so popular. They're like, okay, the networks or the whoever is like, okay, now we need a season 2. And then the writers are like, what do you mean you need a season 2? I killed off all the characters. There's nothing left to do. like how do we do a season 2? So this is what happens, right? Yeah.
The other thing I watched is a movie. I think it's, I don't know, at least 6 months old, maybe a year old, but it's now available on streaming. It's The Amateur with Rami Malek.
I watched that. He's like an FBI analyst who wants to get revenge for his wife's death.
Yes, I liked it.
It's a really actiony movie.
It's like a cross between Born Identity and 24.
Something like this, yeah. I actually enjoyed that movie. I think Rami Malek is overexposed. I think he's in too many things.
It's funny because I've only seen him in 2 things. So that and the
Queen
movie. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was actually it was decent. Yeah.
So those are my 2 recommendations.
I have 2 other things since we have a little bit of extra time because, lately I've been asking you if you've heard of things that are in pop culture.
Oh, this is part 3. I'm 1 and 1 so far.
I actually have 2 things to ask you if you've heard of them. And what, so these are 2 things that I really don't know much about, but I just know they're popular. So I barely know about these myself, to be honest. Do you know what is a Labubu?
No. What is it?
It's some kind of little like stuffed animal, kind of like a Beanie Baby, but they're really expensive and women wear them like as like a clip-on their purses. It's like a purse ornament.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen one. So
No.
Now I'll have to
Okay.
ask some of my female colleagues at work if they have one.
And then there's like fake ones, right? Like the real Labubus are like expensive, and then there's like fake ones. So like at the grocery store, they had like a display of a Laburu or Laruru. Like they changed the name, like it's so stupid.
Is this like Cabbage Patch dolls or American Girl dolls?
It's much smaller. It's like only like a few inches tall, And the other thing that I've heard about, and I don't even know what the hell it is, and my kids are much too old for this, so they're also wondering like what the hell it is. Like, can you imagine? It's mostly for like I think 10 to 12-year-olds. Have you ever? Do you know? I don't even know how to say it. Do you know about 6'7"? 6'7". Have you heard of this?
No, the only thing I've heard of is why was 6 afraid of 7?
No,
Because
it's
7,
not
8, 9. That's the only thing I know.
It's not that. But I read articles and I've seen videos of basically parents and teachers. Like teachers are saying, I can't use the number 6 or 7 in my class because the whole class is going to go 6, 7. Like it's like something stupid. Apparently this is like a thing. And I don't know the origin. I don't know what it is. I barely understand it myself. But I just know that like I wanted to know if you knew about it. But I guess not.
So like I'm of all the people in the world, I'm out of the loop. I'm always the last person to find out stuff.
Well, that's why I ask you these questions, because if you know about it, then it must be really big.
Right. Then everybody knows about it if I know about it.
Right. So you can research Labubu and you can look up 6-7 on your own if you want to waste your time today and go down some weird rabbit holes. But that's all I got.
All right. Thanks for that.
All right. So great talking to you about Nobody Wants This. We both hated it. No, I don't want to say I really didn't like it. But it's good to finally like kind of do a show where like I really had some criticism. A lot too often we're gushing over the shows, so that was good.
I think I didn't like it. I know I didn't like it, but I liked it more than season 5 of Only Murders in the Building.
It's about the same for me. Yeah.
No, I think Only Murders was a little bit worse.
Only Murder. Well, maybe we'll do an Only Murders episode, but like the problem with Only Murders is like
how many people
like
can die in the building?
And the show's like a parody of itself at this point. Like I just don't.
I think the show is just an excuse to get all these other actors all these jobs, because like you see all these famous actors that appear in the show now.
Exactly. It's like
Renee Zellweger and Christoph Waltz and that other guy, the other rich guy. I don't even know his real name. What's his real name?
Logan Lerman.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, you've seen him in a lot of things.
Okay, sure. I'll take your word for it. So yeah, so I think that's the whole purpose of Only Murders, just to get all these other actors some gigs.
Yeah. All right. Great talking to you. I'll talk to you next time.
Have a great week.